Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in the lab. I got way too much time on my hand because I'm going in. So I got a nice lesson for you today. Hope you're ready for it. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You turn to receiving them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, yeah, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Appreciate it too. Numbers is doing good. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of, spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, that all right thinkers know themselves through the teachings that I give daily. Let's go. You need to tune in and get them and use them for yourself. You'll see that they work. Let's go. Know thyself. And I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. That's what I'm here to do. Help you know you. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can waken them. Why? I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And to my yacht, be true. The title of this lesson, right thinkers, is called The Teaching of the Oneness of God. That's the chapter. There's a few pages of information that's going to break down and explain the oneness of God. That's what I do. Enlighten you. Watch this. Let's go. So, the many Egyptian cosmogonies, and ritual systems are in reality what? Leading you toward the realization of what? The same supreme being, aka God. Religion from the outset is to get you to God, link you and unite you with what? Your essence of who you are, God. Different styles, different techniques, but that's the end game. That I know. So that's why I don't have no problem with religion. Okay. My issue with how they practice and profess it. So nothing neither here there, but that's my concept. But I'm gonna show you how my point because I have reason and understanding. I can make that decision by my discernment and my knowledge of what I know. Now, when you get reaching toward all religion is to get you to the same supreme being, God. Now, during the period of the 18th dynasty, again, I ain't into the chronological understanding, but the 18th dynasty, the Egyptian religion went through what? A short-lived phase in which only one symbol of God was allowed to be worshipped. We had a king called Akhenaten, the sage. I'm gonna get to him, but this is his outcome. He saw things going the wrong way, and he made a decision to do what he thought was best. So y'all say Moses was the inventor of monotheism? Not even close. This brother here, who was a sage and the king, Pharaoh, knew what he was doing, and he changed some things around. They call him the heretic king. He changed a lot of things around and pissed a lot of people off. It's all in here, so let's go. Now, this occurred when, under the reign of my man Akhenaten, his father was Thutmose III, so he was Thutmose IV, but he changed his name to Akhenaten. Now, in circa 1379 to 1362, he was in charge, BCE. He suppressed, watch this, the older God symbols, including, watch this, this is true blasphemy for them. Amun, Ra, and instituted Atum, the sun. I'm laughing because I understand the story. But watch this. And now he changed the sun and represented by what? The solar disk. You see the sun? That's the sun disk. That was God. You see the rays coming down. I got a picture. I got the picture. No, not a picture of that one. But he changed the worship of the gods to one God, which is the sun. All right. Watch this. Where you at now? Remember, no, excuse me. Now he renouncing what? All the old gods. Blasphemy. And okay, quick lesson. Let me tell you a few things about this now. I hear people tell stories about my Egyptian stuff, but sometimes I cringe because they done got some message from somebody who someone got it from somebody. Long story short, hearsay. They say Napoleon shot the nose off. They say this was to stop tearing up the statues, tearing the nose off because the white man didn't want to know who it was. Hearsay. Okay, let me correct you. When I give you information, you can fact check me. When Akhenaten said, destroy all those idols. Now, the ones who was working with him did their job. Knocked the face off, chiseled the nose off. All of them. Every other year. Why? Because he didn't want no God worship, but the sun god, Atum, the sun disk, didn't get destroyed. That's why. That's the truth. So when you see all those statues with the faces deformed, Akhenaten is responsible for that. Okay, thou shalt have no other God other than me. So the rest of them, get rid of them. And those who wasn't with him, they took and stashed them away. They hid him for him not to destroy him. And he was in charge for about, what, 19 years, 18, 19, 17 years. They caught the worst of it. He relocated the capital. He did everything that he wanted to do in the people because the king had to go along with it. He got some pushback. They didn't like him. So watch this. Now you know the story of the figuration of the gods in Egypt. And he introduced what? Worship of the sun god. Atum, Aton, or Aten, Aten. And he established what? A new capital and where? Akhenaten. Atum symbolized the underlying essence of phenomenal reality as well as the phenomenal reality itself. I can't go with that. And Akhenaten, you was a sage, so you was enlightened brother. Where you got that idea from, I don't subscribe to it. I'll be the first to tell you, my man, if you leading me and you're gonna tell me somewhere or take me somewhere where I know ain't what you think it is, or because you don't know and I do know, I'm not going. Why? I'm a man. Like that mouse in the maze. I know what's there. So understand that. So if you're gonna follow somebody, pick somebody who you trust that's gonna lead in the right way. Your job ain't to tell the leader how to lead. If you'll follow it, you follow. But if I got a leader that ain't smart at what he's doing, I ain't following you. Simple as that. Moving on. But that was the concept. Now, God, the Son, cannot be God. Simple fact is, it only shines and moves across the sky. That's his job. He don't bless nothing. He, yeah, he make the plants grow. He bring the heat. That's his job. He radiate heat, and he's put it right in the place, right in the spot where he need to be to do what he need to do. Shine the light and heat us up for the cycle of the year. Now, where did he get that job from? Who gave him that job? The phrase, "Let there be light," conceptually. So that's what I understand. So I can't really get the idea. I don't roll with that. So again, because I'm an independent thinker, I want all right thinkers to be independent. Think and understand what you can understand so you can formulate and follow it in earnest. I can't follow if I don't agree with it. I'm not following it. Simple. Moving on. Oh, I'm killing it. Many researchers of what the Egyptian religion, watch this, have considered him to be the first. You ready? Monotheistic. Okay? Monotheist means single God. However, my favorite, however, Akhenaten only wanted to what? Return to the original idea of the supreme deity which had existed prior to development of the various companies of gods and goddesses and numerous local deities. What he obviously lost track of, how these are all emanations of God, just like the sun. But he was hell bent on his concept, and Akhenaten, watch this, never promoted the idea that the sun itself was God, but that it is the visible dynamic representation of the transcendental essence of the supreme being, which what transcends time and space. We know that. We know that. But he don't have the power to do anything else. He got to save it. Matter of fact, he got to call for help. The other guys, when he go into the doo-wop, why? Because he can't fight the prophets by himself. His natural born nemesis, okay? Darkness. The sun got a nemesis. What's that? Darkness. hmm That's the endless cycle of good and evil, light and dark. How you want to play that game? That's duality. But before that happened, there's only one. Understand that. That's the singular, and it wasn't the sun. I'm just saying. If he had to say, use the Hector words of power, initiated, let there be light, it must have been in the dark. Just saying. But watch this. We get back to the lesson. Now, this point is proven how? By the following passage from the ancient Egyptian text concerning Amun Ra and Ptah, the three in one God. And watch this, the creation myths which exist prior to the reign of Akhenaten. We had stories before he came into the picture. Again, 18th dynasty, whole lot of stuff transpired before he got there. But through his lessons and his learning, he came up with his own idea. Now, in essence, he was really trying to what? Reform the worship of God and society in general. Why? Because what he saw was what I'm saying now. Society going astray. We're not spiritual. We're human beings. We act like human beings. We ain't acting spiritual at all. We lost our way when it comes to being spiritual beings, which is what we are. Having a human experience, the human experience have taken over, just like the concept I told you about Hatadu. They fall in love with this. I'm not loving this. Sorry. But yeah, the story old as time. You come into the world, you're born into this world, you fall in love with things, physicality, monetary things, lust, goals, dreams of having, being. Hell, that's this domain. That's what it's for. Materialistic people will stay here. Why? Because they're gonna not learn a lesson in life by waking up and realizing who they really are. That won't happen to my right thinkers. My goal is to prevent that from us. Watch this. So, watch this. The ideas of monotheism, monotheism, pantheism, panentheism exist in Egypt and Ethiopia prior to their emergence anywhere else in the world. We were the center of spirituality. That's the point. Watch this. And no matter what tribe you went to, where you went, we were the most spiritual people on the earth. Watch this. During that time, black man was in control. Things going good. Everybody living good. Once they got in control, yeah, we've been going to hell ever since. And ain't nothing we doing to try to stop it. Grandmother had a favorite phrase. We going to hell in a handbasket. And ain't nobody trying to stop it. Y'all all along for the ride. Stop and let me out. Why? I ain't trying to go to hell with y'all. Leave me be. Why? I would rather do my own thing to do what y'all doing. Why? I know where y'all going. Again, mice in the trail. I know what's down that road. I've been negative before. I know that all too well. Sorry. But watch this. And all Akhenaten wanted to do was what? Encourage a more natural, spiritual style of Egyptian royal, what's that? Poetry of life in general. He wanted things to be better. I feel like him. Why? I want the same thing. Because I'm seeing too much materialism. Way too much. And we loving it. Too many distractions. Way too much. And we falling for it. Programming for that idiot box, my grandmother called it. And we falling for it. Hook, line and sinker. You take that TV, you take social media away, and we will fall over dead. Oh, I can't do it without the internet. I can't do it. I use it for my purpose to get my message out. So I'm not against it, but the way we misuse everything. I tell you the story about the specially designed Afro knots, which was knowledge that we first had, taken away. Why? Because we abused it. Everything that we get, we take advantage and abuse it. So that's the human. That's what being human is. You're gonna make mistakes. Okay, you're prone to errors. So you figure out how trial and error. If it don't, I don't know what I'm doing, but if it works, I go with it. If it don't, I just try something else. See what sticks. Throw it up there and see what works. That's not a good way to live. So watch this. So he saw, watch this. What he saw atoned as the same benefactor of all religions and sought to what establish a new order. Sound familiar? Of listen, social justice. We got social media running wild, and ain't nothing just about it. Wherein all citizens would what partake in the riches of society. This is ancient information, thousands of years ago. The same thing that was going on then is going on right now. I'm about to lose my mind because I'm bearing witness to we done lost our mind. I say we mean us as a people. You got this clown who's been convicted of all kind of wrongdoing, fraudulent, liar, and you want him to be in control? Are you kidding me? Don't get me started on that. But that's what I'm saying. We really going the wrong way. When you start putting bad people in high position, what that's saying? We want bad things. That's what you're gonna get. He's the worst president ever. And y'all want him back. That's insanity. That's the true definition of being insane. He's not good. He wasn't good. He ain't gonna be good, but you what want him to I'm sorry, get back to the lesson. I got a little tangent there. I got a little that's I just I can't I'm chomping at the bit to get on that one. But right now let's get back to the one. UA, ooh, or that's one. Ooh netta. That means one God. Only one. Only one, what? Without a second, beginning to end, Alpha and Omega. One, one, the only one. He's letting it be known, I am the one. Everything comes from the. James knew it on the one beat. George said, you got on the one. Everything on the one. They emphasize that one beat. Why? Everything comes from there. Everything originates from there. Let's go. So now the following passage comes from the Egyptian book, coming forth by day, chapter. The Roman, I hate the Roman numeral number. I ain't got time for that, but this is the chapter. Egyptian book. Watch this. I praise thee, Lord of gods, God one living in truth. They had the understanding, they had the concept, and they let it be known. Okay, when they praised him, when they had the hymns, they would tell you what they thought. And the following passage also taken from a passage where, watch this, the princess Nisa Kinsu glorifies Amun Ra. Watch this. August soul, which come into being in what? Primeval time, the beginning. The great God living in what? The truth, the first. 9 gods, that's the other elements of creation, the Enoch. We talked about that, but yeah, that's the 9 gods. And what? Who gave birth to the other 2 non-gods. The being in whom every God what exists. One, one, there it is again. The creator of who? The kings who appeared when the earth took form in the beginning, whose birth is hidden, whose forms are manifold, and whose germination cannot be known. Okay? Now, this is your boy. It's Akhenaten. It said the bust of Akhenaten, Sage King. Right quick. Yeah, I got more time. I got another page. I'll be battling against time, so work with me. Now, this is the heretic king. This is his bust. A similar situation to which occurred during Akhenaten's reign occurred in Christianity when, during the time of the creation and the rise of what? Islam, another theological concept. Okay, the corruption. Here you go. This one, the end was beginning for my Egyptians because they put bad people in top. Watch this. The corruption of the Egyptian society in general prompted a call for what? Reform. This is what Akhenaten was fighting against. The system. If you fight the system, you're not going to win. That's why my arm too short to mess with them. Now, when he called for reform, thus this is why Akhenaten, the king of ancient Egypt, had within his role as national spiritual leader, sage, attempted to what? Make reform in the spiritual character of ancient Egypt and its relations with other countries. We were starting to be invaded. We started being bombarded. We started to be taken over. Watch this. So therefore, he confiscated much of the wealth of those in the religious community. He took all the wealth from from the rich people, religious people, whom he thought were what? Corrupt. You can't tell me, excuse me, that the political party, the Republicans, they got a bunch of money, but they got no sense. Moving on. That's just my concept. And he did the same thing while he took their money. That you trying to do that, my man, hit him in the pocket. When a person got an absorbent amount of stuff, you take that stuff, okay? Knock it down, okay? So when he thought they was corrupt, watch this. He took away the community he knocked down the religious wealth from those religious communities whom what he thought was corrupt and redistributed, watch this, amongst the people. Robin Hood taking from the rich, giving to the poor. That's what he did conceptually, and that's what they did. They didn't like that. Oh, the rich. The Republicans don't like when the Democrats is doing, and they ain't raising hell by taking care of us as the people either. But it is what it is. But he tried, watch this, to foster an atmosphere of what? Brotherhood amongst who? The neighboring countries to stop them from running up in them and reducing the appropriations for the military and thus what? Reducing the belligerent stance of the ancient Egyptian empire. Meaning they was frivolous. They was just not doing the right thing. Simple as that. Sound familiar? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm getting the concept. I understand what he was doing now, realizing what's going on. He had the power to do that. And he took care of the people. The powers that be don't like that. If you're going to be a movement starter, you already know what's going to happen to you. So understand that. And he recognized that what? The high gods of other countries were now, in reality, symbolic forms of who? The same divinity which was worshipped in Egypt. But you gave way all of them. You went with Atum. Now, many of the higher ranking members of what of his clergy, the cabinet, as well as many nobles, watch this, who had practiced the cults of various Egyptian deities, they understood it for thousands of years, rejected what many of his efforts, and strife arose within the country. See, from the inside out. Once we don't agree on what we're doing, we're going to fall. Okay. Some did not understand his purpose, normally, and others what opposed him because what their own chosen deities who they would like him seemed to be what supplemented by this new totem, aka Atum, the sun. Foreign countries use this opportunity to what? To encroach upon Egyptian holdings. And after Akhenaten's death, they didn't kill him, or maybe they did. But after his death, what happened? Egypt reverted to the ways of worship as they were before the time of Akhenaten. I'm gonna end the lesson with that. I got more coming for you, but I want to let you know that one God turned into a whole fiasco for us as a race of people, and we still ain't recovering from it. I'm going. Now, let's talk about this. It would be correct to note that, here we go. Here we go. I got to get y'all. The Jews who entered into Egypt way late. They didn't. They wasn't slaves building the pyramid. They didn't make them made mud bricks with no. That didn't happen. So let's stop that nonsense. But when the Jews who entered Egypt at various times throughout its history, watch this, were strongly influenced by the theology of Egypt. However, they did not carry on the idea of universality, which Akhenaten sought to foster. They wasn't falling for his one God, son God deal either. Okay? Now, he viewed Atum as the supreme deity, which is revered and everywhere under different names. That's what he claimed. But the Jewish idea that the Jewish God is the only, this one, where the problem started, right here. The Jews claim that they got the only true God who belongs to them alone. Is that's a factor from the concept from the Zoroastrians, okay? The Zealots. They thought that God belonged to them. And watch this. Their influence coupled with Occidental tendencies of the Jews to what? Canaanized images and to exclude what? To segregate themselves. Meaning the Jews always stuck with Jews. They're not gonna leave their community. You don't see one Jew. Why? They don't leave, they stay together. I ain't got a problem with that. Consciously and conceptually, that's what the black man was supposed to do. Little tidbit. We lost that deal. He stole our legacy, our birthright, to be one with each other, unified. The Jews stayed together. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to do something outside the community, you can go. We ain't changing. We're not going to adapt to you. We're going to do what we do. You're going to follow our lead. That's the way it's done. So watch this quick. Nevertheless, the instructions which the early Jews received in Egypt in reference to the oneness of the divinity which they transferred, watch this, to the personality, and they called him Yahweh. Okay? And cannot be overlooked. However, the teachings of mystical Judaism, aka the Kabbalah, exhibits important what correspondence to Shitanada, ancient Egyptian religion. We all got it from somewhere. This is where they got it from. Now, in Western religion, monotheism implies that there is one God who exists, in fact, with a distinct personality. This is what I got an issue with. Much like that of a human being, and who is watching over his creation from where? Like a father. God is conceptualized, watch this, as a male figure. We see him different, but this is the Christian, the Jewish concept. Watch this. Who is what? Separate from creation and manage it from afar. That's why I got a problem. Once you took God, put him in the burning bush. Once you took God and put him up there in the heavens, I'm done with you. Why? That ain't where God is. God is in the heart. I know that. Why? My studies and my lifestyle and my understanding and discernment lets me know that. So you can't tell me God is somewhere else and expect me to go with that. Understand that, please? So here, I just showed you why my issues with what y'all do. So understand that. So now in the mystical sciences, monotheism applies that what? God is the only being that truly exists. Everything else is an emanation from him. And therefore, all that exists is an expression of the divine. I try to explain to you, when you go into your dream state, you're pretty much part of the scenery. God is in the dream state right now. We're all part of his dream. So he's in everything that's inside his dream, just like you are when you go into the dream state. If you learn how to lucid dream, you can control and orchestrate your own dream and live and do and be and have a good time. Trust me. But when you have the expressions of God, watch this. God expresses his nature through nature. Well, God don't exist. Where nature come from? God don't exist where the stars come from. God don't exist. Your body, your thoughts, your senses, all physical objects, all good and evil, people, etc. God is everything, just as everything in your dream I just told you about is in reality what? An expression of your own consciousness. Only what's inside you will be in your dream. God is not, let me say it again. God is not separate from his creation. And I just had a conversation with a Christian, brother at the gym this morning, and we always talk back and forth. And I gave him a quick lesson about the oneness of God. He don't believe it because he believes something else. I try to explain to him, when you took God and put him outside of man, you lost me. But I know metaphor, I know mythologies, I know theology. Y'all don't understand, you Bible thumpers, that the Bible is a mythological book, an allegorical book, a book of philosophy, astrology, horoscope concepts, just to educate and philosophically give you knowledge that you can use to better yourself to know God. On that term, now we can discuss. But don't sell me on, no, we ain't gonna do that. So quick lessons. But watch this. When God created everything, he saw it was perfect. But something was missing. It wasn't perfect. No. He had to get into his creation. That's when he got into man. But it is, watch this. But it is imminent in creation, which is God. God is never far from you. But it is as close as your every thought, your every breath, and every sensation, your every feeling. Thus, that which transcends the phenomenal world of time and sensation, time and space, is what? Is full. You have everything you need. And watch this. The fundamental world, which is what? Just another expression of the eternal, is what? Also full. At every moment, you are embracing the glory of God. At every moment, regardless of your life's circumstances, you are full. Sorry. Even if you were to become blind, and my mother-in-law, she is, and she got better sight than those who got 20/20 vision, because her spiritual sight takes over and kicks in. Now, if you're blind or lost an arm or a leg, you would what? Still remain full. It's mental. Just as the injuries of your dream, just as the injuries in your dream, watch this, the personalities do not affect you as you lay in your bed. I done went through dreams where I done had my head blown open, and they said, you wake up? No, I'm going to see it through. I wrote it out. Okay, I did a whole lot of crazy stuff in my dream to see how much control I had over. You got total control. Don't ever give up your control. And get scared and wake up. Ride it out. Now, watch this. As you lay in your bed, what's going on in your dream? Jumping off a roof, falling on the ground, getting shot, whatever. But all that don't disturb you at all. So to you, watch, your transcendental self is what? Like your spirit, unaffected by any condition that experienced through what? Your physical body or your mind, aka your ego personality. Wrapping it up. In the book of hidden properties, a matter we saw how what the supreme divinity is what describes as an ocean of all-encompassing existence, ocean of consciousness. It knows all. And now in this ocean, there is no male nor female and no duality of any kind. However, when the ocean expresses itself by its own will, it takes on what? Different forms according to that will. These forms are in reality polarizations of the same essence. The ocean, it is like water turning what? Into ice. If it gets cold, the temperature changes, freeze it. If you heat it up, it turns to steam. So just like the ice, the water turns to ice, it is the same essence, it's still water, only in what? A different temperature and vibrational state. Now, in the same way, physical matter regardless of its form, color, textures, etc., is nothing but the same essence, and this essence remains indescribable to modern science. They still calling this dark matter. A whole bunch of stuff they coming up with. Why? They don't know what it is. Instead of saying that, they can put names. So moving on, wrap this up. Appreciate. Oh, yeah, way past time. Sorry, but this principle right here of the hidden non-dual essence of who the supreme self was described when thousands of years ago by the ancient Egyptians. Watch this. No man has been able to seek out God's likeness to God, though God can be seen in what form? Observation of God can be made at what? God's appearance. God cannot be understood. God cannot be seen with the mortal eyes. And I can't give you God. You have to experience Him for yourself. Every individual has that right and that ability. If you follow me, become a right thinker, I can help you do just that. Know thyself and know God. I'll be back. I'm not done. I'll be back.